Welcome back. Well, I will say this: New Jersey gave it their all. I thought the Devils played the best game they did out of the three they played in Carolina. In the end, the Carolina Hurricanes are moving on. They now await the winner of the Florida Toronto series. And we could know that their opponent will be Florida as soon as tomorrow, but we shall see. Toronto's not done yet. The fourth game can be the hardest to win, as tonight showed. So it was Schmid versus Anderson. There will be a lot of discussions of whether or not Schmid should have started the last game. I don't know that it would have mattered, but the discussions will be out there. Jack Hughes didn't take line rushes today. However, he was in the lineup. There was a lot of discussion about what might have been wrong with him. I'm sure we'll hear in the coming days if there was a nagging injury there. Kokaniemi has a rush chance that's caught and held. Tentative first few minutes of this, as you know, both teams are playing really solid defense. Not a lot of rush chances there. Brad has a net drive that's saved. The shots are 2-1 for Carolina. 5 minutes in, Shea has a shot that's tipped by Jarvis. That's kicked aside. Pressed by the Canes at 7.5 minutes. Pesci to Aho, near miss there. Strong forechecking by Carolina as well. So they're all around it. The Devils get stuck on one shot for a while, but then Woods was denied on a net drive, which gets the Devils that second shot, and they had a little bit of momentum off of that. So, power play then for the Canes. Natchez has a shot that's held. Jarvis to Natchez, near miss there. They cycle. Natchez has a shot that's tipped wide. It's the Natchez show at this point. Howell ends up clearing it out. That's killed off, and then Fast nearly scores for Carolina afterwards. The Devils, though, they clear it out. McLeod has a chance that's saved and held with Mercer on the doorstep. Devils, after that kill, it felt like they got some energy from that. They started playing better. Canes press with 6.5 minutes left. Burns has a shot that deflects out. And then there's a 3-on-2 rush, and New Jersey scores. It's Mercer from Meyer and McLeod at 15:06. He tips that one in. So for Dawson Mercer, he opens the scoring for New Jersey. Bratt then has a chance that's kicked aside. The teams exchange rushes. Canes press with 3.5 minutes left. Pesci has a shot tipped wide. The Devils clear it out. The Devils press with 2.5 minutes left, but they're kept to the outside by Carolina. Jack Hughes has a last-minute rush chance. That's held. Aho is then denied as the Canes press late in the period. So after the first period, it's 1-0, but it was a pretty evenly played period. As this game was pretty evenly played through the first two periods, and then Carolina looked like they really wanted it. But second period, near miss for Hamilton as the Devils had the early jump, but the puck goes the other way. And Slavin with a shot from the point. It goes in off Siegenthaler at 50 seconds. Martinuk with the assist. So, tough break for New Jersey. It looked like maybe they were going for another, and instead it's a tie game. Canes then press for the lead. There's near misses by both Jarvis and Burns. Devils press at 3 minutes. Kokaniemi forces a turnover, clears it out. Aho to Drury. That gets picked off. The shots are 7-1 for Carolina at 5.5 minutes. They would go on these long runs where they were earning all the shots. And Chatfield has a shot deflect wide. We end up getting a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. It's Timo Meyer, buries it in close, and it takes 7 seconds. Yep. Meyer from Hamilton and Hughes, that's at 7:15, and then the Devils look for another. They're ahead 2-1. Brad has a chance that's held. Luke Hughes has a shot that's saved as the Devils press. Nice desperate hockey, I thought, from New Jersey tonight. It's the kind of hockey you kind of wish you'd seen from them in the first two games in this series, but it's a learning experience. Like I said before the playoffs started, this is a good time for New Jersey to learn. You learn from these experiences, and then you get a better view on how to win the next time out, right? So, Wood's screenshot is saved. Easy for me to say. Canes press, Devils block. Burns has a shot deflect wide. He sure can't bury one on a rush. Meyer couldn't bury one in close. The Canes cleared out. Lazar to Bastian, near miss there. I thought Lazar had a decent game. Burns defends a Meyer rush. Anderson then bobbles a puck, but the Canes would get it and get it out. So a little bit of a moment there for Freddie Anderson. Aho to Nason. There's a near miss there. Bastian with a one-timer. That goes wide as the Devils press. Canes are pinned down with 1.5 minutes left. The Canes get a whistle. And then, well, the Devils are unable to clear. And Burns buries one through a screen in the final minute at 19:22. So this game had gone back and forth. It looked like the Devils were going to maybe come out of this with a 2-goal lead, but Anderson's good, the defense is good, the blocking's good, and instead Burns ties it in the final minute. Then there was a near miss for Kokaniemi on a 2-on-1 as Carolina nearly had the lead going into the third period. But we go to the third period. Devils press on the first shift. Jack Hughes has a screenshot that's tipped high. He was forechecking as well. He has good chemistry with his brother, which is something I've noticed, and it makes sense. I know People are going to say, well, of course, I've seen brothers that don't have great chemistry on the ice together. I think these guys, once they've got it figured out, it's going to be magic for New Jersey. So the Canes press at 2 minutes. Stastny has a net feed that's picked off. Shea with a shot that's blocked. The crowd was anxious for a goal at this point. Just really wanted this to. I'm sure the tension wasn't welcome for them. They want this to be a one-sided game like the first two. Pesci to Eric Stahl near miss. Shots are 2-1 for the Canes at 6 minutes. So not a lot hitting the net. Shea has a blast that's held as the Canes press. Then the Devils press at 7 minutes. Bastian has a shot that's held. Palat nearly adds one. That's where the Freddie chance would get started. Anderson with another good game tonight. Burns has a shot that's held. Both goalies not giving up rebounds at this point in the game. And just one and done. A lot of shot, absorbed, and held. So it feels like overtime with half of the third left. Sure enough, the next goal would be the winner. There's a dog pile at the Devils' net. Aho can't bury it there. Pesci has a shot go wide. The Devils clear. Canes are building momentum, but they're not able to get that goal with that momentum. They press with 6.5 minutes left. The Devils ice it. And the Devils frequently icing the puck at this point in the game, but a combination of saves by Schmid, shot blocks, and just generally good defensive play prevent the Canes from ending this. So Shea's denied. There's a heavy press by the Canes. The Devils fail to clear on a first try. Drury then has a shot that's held by Schmid, so they can get a change. They desperately needed a change being pinned down there. Stepan then has a shot that's caught and held. The Canes looking high glove. That's where most of the goals against Schmid in these playoffs were scored. Ridiculously high number. Now, the weird thing is, that's kind of a common place to go on a lot of goaltenders, but when you know that's the spot to go, that's where you go. Shots are 9-4 for Carolina with 3.5 minutes left. Schmid, very good in this. Back-to-back icings then by the Canes as overtime looks more and more likely. Jarvis has a chance that's defended by Hamilton. Aho fires one wide. The Devils clear. Stepan then fires one wide, and he looks skyward on that. He probably should have buried that. This probably shouldn't have gone to overtime on that. Natchez then has a net feed that's blocked, but sure enough, we are going to overtime. In overtime, early press by the Canes, but they're kept to the outside. Then there's a near miss for Siegenthaler, who had a rough night. Hamilton fires one high. The Canes clear. Natchez with a turnover chance, that's held. Bastian had a wraparound chance, that was saved. The Devils press at 2.5 minutes. Martinook is denied from the slot. Gostisbehere has a shot that's held. Then there's a blocker save on Pesci as Schmid's doing everything he can to keep their season alive. Devils press at 5 minutes, and eventually, when you get enough pressure, you're going to cause defensemen to maybe make a mistake, and Jonas Siegenthaler, with the delay of game call, he goes to the box. Again, Siegenthaler had a rough night. The puck goes in off Siegenthaler from the point on that first goal in the second, and as we will see, that power play, very costly for the Devils. So they set up, they cycle. Burns has a shot that's held. Gostisbehere has a shot that saved the Devils clear, but eventually, on that power play, Jesper Fast, he tips one in to end the series. Kotkaniemi and Gostisbehere with the assist. That's at 7 minutes and 9 seconds. So Carolina wins this one 3-2. They win the series 4-1. Your 3 stars in this: Fast, Anderson, and Burns. How fast does Anderson burn? That's kind of a... Anyways, sidetrack. Shots on net, 8-7 Carolina in the first, 14-12 New Jersey in the second, 11-5 Carolina in the third, 8-3 Carolina in the overtime. So 19-8 for Carolina between the third period and the overtime. They really wanted it. Final shots are 39-29 Carolina. Power plays, New Jersey scored on the only one they had. Carolina scored on one of the 2 that they had. So not very many power plays. The hits were 32-32, so very even there. Schmid saves 36 out of 39. Anderson saves 27 out of 29. And for fans of New Jersey that think that Lindy Ruff should have been fired or should be fired, there are reasons in this series that you could point to and say, yep, this should be a sign that Ruff can't get him over the top. But if you think Ruff's a good coach, there are definitely reasons to think that from this result as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.